Okay, go ahead.
So you want to verify the order. The physician's order at the nurse's station on the chart. You want to make sure it's ordered in liters per minute. Make sure it's ordered 1 to 6 liters per minute. If it's anything higher, can't do it. And make sure if it's above 40 liters per minute, part of your equipment, you need to bring a humidifier. Okay, so you verify the order. Now you're going to look at any significant data. So you're reviewing the patient's chart. You're going to look at trends in the vitals, what saturation they're on, and what oxygen are they on with that saturation. That's all you need for nasopharyngeal. Oh, and also check the patient's allergies and what type of condition the patient may be in currently.
Okay.
So you gather all your equipment. You're going to need a peak flow meter and O2 nipple. I'm going to say 5 liters, so I'm going to get a humidifier. I need the nasal cannula, of course, stethoscope, and a pulse ox. Okay, so you go to the patient's room, knock them down. Hi, Mr. Cartman. My name is Anthony Coe. I'm from the respiratory. My name is Anthony. I'm from the respiratory care department. I'm here to give you some oxygen. Give me a moment to wash my hands and we'll get started. So I'll go and wash my hands, 15 seconds. Come back. Could I please see your wristband? Now this is where you verify the name and the ID number to your order. And you ask the patient to state their full name and their birth date. So Mr. Cartman, could you please say your birth date and your full name? Thank you. If it's the right patient, you keep going. Now before I start giving you your oxygen, I'm going to take the vitals. So I'll take the heart rate, breath sounds, which is also called auscultation. And I would ask the patient to cross their arms and lean forward so the scapula will pull away from the lungs so you can hear it better. And I would go side to side and then up to top to bottom or bottom to top. The one that's most important is side to side first because you're comparing 2 lobes. You're not comparing 1 lung. Okay. After that, I would check the oxygen levels using a pulse oximeter. And if I felt like it was iffy reading, like it's suspicious, then I would check it on myself, correlate the pulse I take with myself to the pulse that I get on pulse oximeter. If it's not working, get it moved. Now, I tell Mr. Cartman thank you. And after I take the saturation,
This is serious.
plug in the flow meter, plug in the O2 nipple, plug in the nasal cannula, set it to 5 liters per minute. What am I forgetting? 5 liters per minute. Humidifier. So before you plug in the O2 tubing, you don't even need a nipple.
I was going to say, I thought you just...
So you put the
Nipple
humidifier.
is just for respiration.
I know. The humidifier, and then you plug in the nasal cannula. So let me rewind. Flow meter, humidifier, nasal cannula. You're down to 5 liters. Make sure that the bubbles are bubbling. Make sure you feel. Okay? So that's your look, listen, and feel. All you gotta do is listen and feel.
Okay.
Okay? You feel it. And you want to make sure there's no kinks. Seriously? Pour up. Okay, anyway.
Just go with it.
So you want to get the vaccine? Lower this a little bit. And all the way down. You want to put the prongs facing downward into the patient's nose, around the ears, under the neck, and then you make sure you fasten it back up. And then you have to ask, does that feel okay, Mr. Cartman? If not, readjust it. What about now? You still complain, oh, it feels weird. Well, I'm sorry, but you know, this is what is going to give you oxygen. After you do that, you want to stay with the patient for a bit, 5 to 10 minutes, make sure everything's okay. Check, check that their status isn't changing because of the fact that you placed them on. Okay, and then you're gonna take heart rate, respiratory rate, breath sound, saturation to assure, so you have hard data that nothing in their position has changed or gotten worse. You just want to see it get better. And then you say, okay, Mr. Cartman.
No, we have to call you.
You got this.
Don't forget.
You got this.
Simple. Okay, sorry.
What are the indications to administer oxygen?
Administer oxygen, if they're hypoxemic, they had a heart attack, they were in a severe trauma, and if they're post-op. And the numbers you need to know is saturation, if their saturation goes to 88 to 92%, or if their PaO2 or their oxygen pressure, blood pressure, oxygen arterial blood, or oxygen tension is less than 60 millimeters of mercury. Okay? there are no real contraindications for O2 therapy unless they're already O2 toxic.
Okay.
They're already poisoned with oxygen, then you don't give it more. Duh.
Okay.
O2 toxicity, over a period of time, if the patient has too much oxygen either in their blood or that they're taking in, that can cause damage. Some examples would be mucociliary depression. So the mucociliary escalator that's supposed to help mucus come out will now like lessen in function because of the fact the swollen jaw layer go down, it's dehydrated, blah blah blah, that stupid shit. And then atelectasis, so FiO2 greater than 1.0, because of the fact the nitrogen washout. Now every time the alveoli take in oxygen, there's nothing else keeping it open. So after a while, it's just gonna go. And the last one that you need to know is if the patient is a COPD patient, they can have depression of ventilation. So a PO2 of greater than 60 milliliters of mercury, they're on a hypoxic drive. So remember, they're used to elevated CO2. So their central chemoreceptors no longer working. Now it's their peripheral chemoreceptors that are like, okay, you know, low oxygen, we gotta keep going, we gotta keep going. And then if you stay above 60 milliliters of mercury for a really long time, they won't breathe on their own anymore.
Okay.
And then that's where it starts going to CO2 narcosis.
That's when you need a different mask, though, too, right?
Well, that's where if that patient was like that, you would need a V mask.
Okay.
Okay.
Now,
for
give
the patient to leave the patient. So after you did your post-assessment, tell the patient you're going to come back and follow up. Make sure they're okay receiving this treatment. 1, 2, make sure the device is still working.
You know, that's not.
And
Sorry.
3,
You're
make
good.
sure that if they have to go to the bathroom or whatever, they put it back on right. So you tell them, Mr. Carmen, I'm going to come back in about 20 minutes to check your saturation or your oxygen levels and see how you're doing. Do you have any questions? No? Well, if you do come up with any questions and we're not here, you can just call us. We'll come right away. And then gather all your equipment, wash your hands, leave a chart. And what you're going to chart for nasal cannula is what liter flow, did you put a humidifier, what device on nasal cannula, what were the vitals, and how did the patient respond to it. That's it for nasal. Oh, did you want me to go to the
You're
next?
having him really going down.
No. He just kept talking. I was like, it wasn't all
okay. I
down
thought
for
you
I'm
that.
giving you all the answers.
Yeah. Okay, now do
I just
simple.
don't think they're going to go that.
So that's the same thing.
Hey Josh,
Yeah.
All the damn vitals, all the damn procedures, same
What's the
shit.
percentage, all
The
that?
difference is that this one is, so it's still ordered in liters per minute. It's FiO2, it's not proper. It has to be 5 to 10 liters per minute. FiO2 range for this is 35 to 50%. The reason why we do greater than 5 liters per minute is so we don't allow this to become a CO2 reservoir. 1, because now the CO2 is no longer flushing out. And 2, because the average minute ventilation of a normal, healthy patient is 5 liters per minute.
Okay.
Okay? Now, the different application with this is it's a mask. So you're going to place it around the patient, make sure the band has at least 2 fingers space, make sure you don't snap the patient, and make sure you pinch the metal part. And you ask the patient, does that feel comfortable? If not, readjust.
Okay.
Make sure you troubleshoot with anything. This one, you still have to use a humidifier. And if you get like something like 8 or 9, 10 liters per minute, say, yeah, you would get a humidifier at first. But the fact that it's running at such a high flow, I wouldn't have continuous humidification because the humidifier, the bubble humidifier we have, doesn't have a pressure pop-off system to it. So for all we know, if we left that at 10 liters per minute, that thing can explode.
Okay.
Okay? So if it's like 6 liters per minute, whatever. They're good. Let's do it. But if it's like 8, 9, 10, iffy. That's where you go. I would ask my preceptor what is the hospital policy towards the SEPA treatment. Because everyone has a different type of humidifier,
Right.
has different type of equipment.
Okay.
But in that, same indications, contraindications, same hazards,
Okay.
just different applications.
Okay.
So I'm going to go into the partial breathing. Partial breathing, you're going to take off the, get a new one. Partial breather, you take off the back flap. This one is on wrong. Make sure it's, see, this is one of the troubleshooting ones. This mask isn't in all the way. Okay? And then now I'm able to take the back flap off and I take this one off. So partial rebreather, no flaps. None whatsoever. And before you place it on the patient, you're going to have flap. You stick your finger right there and let the bag fill up before you place it on. Run it at least 10 liters per minute, and you're not going to run a humidifier with this because the reservoir bag can become a water trap. because water can condense and not stupid bullshit. Don't want for that. Now, the difference of this mask compared to the other mask is the reservoir bag. Okay? So with this reservoir bag, you want to make sure that the bag is moving as the patient is inhaling. So as it inhales, you want it to deflate to maybe half or 1/3 of the bag. Okay? Now, if it's staying inflated, that means it's too much flow, and you have to decrease the flow. If it's completely collapsing, you need more flow, and you increase it. Okay? Non-rebreather, the biggest difference is it has a side flap and a back flap. Sometimes it can have 2 side flaps, but we always take one off for a safety feature, just so we assure that they have an exhaust port to really send the CO2. That
For a non-rebreather. Yeah.
non-rebreather, yeah. But otherwise, it's the same concept, same deal. When the patient exhales in a partial rebreather, not a non-rebreather, partial rebreather. When a patient exhales in a partial rebreather, since there is no bag flap, 1/3 of the bag will fill up.
I can't pause it. I'll start it.